I want to start with Mr. Bridgman. So it's crazy because when we first started Earn Your Leisure, I told your story, and I want to retell it. Correct me if I'm wrong. You played in the NBA years ago, right? And you never made like maximum amount of money, couple $100,000. But during the off seasons of your career, you worked in a Wendy's. People might have thought that it's kind of odd that an NBA player is working in Wendy's, but you were working in Wendy's to learn the business. After you were done playing, you purchased a Wendy's franchise, and you grew into the largest franchisee owner of Wendy's and Chili's in the world, I believe, right?
He said, yes, keep going. Keep going.
And amassed a fortune of over $600 million in the process. And then sold his portfolio of fast food franchises and purchased the Coca-Cola bottling distribution centers for Canada, right? Then also purchased Ebony magazine and just the whole thing. So it's a very interesting story and something that we covered. So did I do it justice?
You did, yeah, okay.
He's also the king of Louisville. His real estate portfolio is incredible. What else did we miss? Proud father.
Yeah. I didn't quite get the question or what you said.
I was saying, did we miss anything?
Oh, no, that pretty much sums it up. The only thing that I got to get out there, sitting next to this gentleman right here who handles all of these players they make a little bit of money nowadays. But when I came into the league, the total salary for 12 ball players and 3 coaches, total salary for 15 people when I came into the NBA was $1.8 million. So you divide that up, and when I left the league, I made the most money that I made my last year, and that was $350,000. And that's a lot of money. There's no question about that. But when you talk about taxes and family that needs money and all of that, I left the league knowing that I would have to have a job doing something else. And I worked, as you mentioned, Wendy's, but I also worked for an insurance company, and I worked at Howard Johnson's in the off season. I actually went back to law school for 4 summers, and you can't get a law degree in 4 summers, so don't try that. But just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And the only reason I stayed with Wendy's was I figured I'd hire somebody to run it, and they could make money for me while I figured out what I was going to do in life after basketball. And I got an offer from the Milwaukee Bucks to be an assistant general manager making $50,000 a year. But as attractive as that might have been at that time, I wanted to see what I could do myself. I wanted to see what I could grow. I didn't want to have somebody telling me I need to be at work at 8:30 and I couldn't get off until 5 o'clock. And so that's why I got involved with Wendy's. I figured food, people always need to eat, so we'll see how that develops, how that goes.
Hold on, let me just follow up. So how were you able to scale that Wendy's business to become the #1 franchise owner in the world?
Well, we started off like most companies at that time. If you're black and you're going to get involved, they're going to put you in the black area town. And so it was no different. We started in Milwaukee because I spent all those years there with 5 stores in the inner city of Milwaukee. And they were not very good restaurants, but I figured if we worked at it, you could turn things around. And I'll tell you, the average volume of those 5 restaurants was only $600,000 a year. And you're not making any money at that volume. Today, those restaurants, and my son runs them, so we still have a lot of them, but they do over $2 million in sales. And how do you do that? By getting involved with the people and letting the people know that you care about them. Now, how do you do that? back at that time in Milwaukee, if you got stopped for any traffic violation, they took you to jail. It was a crazy law that I'm glad they've changed, but where was all of our people at? They were in jail. So we were bailing people out every day, and I could take you through other things that we did to help show people that we cared about them. And once they realized that we cared about them, then they cared about the business, and they cared about us, and we grew. And as we grew and added more stores, we were able to promote people from a general manager to a district manager to an area operations person. And after a while, we had a whole lot of people making over $100,000 a year. And you would say, you know, how did that happen? And it was in what I would call a real American dream. You could come go to work if you had just natural common sense and you were willing to work hard, you could make a good living for yourself. And we had people that went on from there and became franchisees on their own. So turn around, and it was a matter of helping people. And then one day I looked up and we had 275 Wendy's restaurants. And then I turned around and we had 125 Chili's restaurants. And then we had 500 restaurants, you know, and 25,000 people working for us. So
Scaling looks likely.